In 2019, countless jade gambling enthusiasts gathered at the jade market in Buha City, because a stone of exceptional quality is about to be cut open today. Amid the cheers of the crowd, the knife was gradually brought down. There was no green jade in the stone as imagined. It was actually a woman's head. After investigation, police learned that the victim's name was Layla, a female university student at Buha University. To better understand Layla's situation, the police immediately contacted all relevant personnel for questioning. Through introductions from university teachers and Layla's classmates, they learned that Layla dressed strangely every day. She had few friends at university and often mingled with shady people. There were even rumors that Layla was notorious at school for compensated dating. If others gave her money, she would sell her body. Layla also had a rumored boyfriend at school, Liu Mintao. Deputy Captain Nick immediately heads to Buha University, only to encounter Marlo, who wants to duel Liu Mintao for Layla's sake. He immediately took Liu Mintao back to the police station. In the interrogation room, Liu Mintao watched the video of Jade winning heads with unusual calmness. It turned out his brother used to be a police officer too, and he was already used to these things. Until Nick reveals the identity of the deceased. Only then did he show an expression of disbelief. Considering the negative social impact of the case, Captain Shuha decided to interrogate him personally, and only then did Liu Mintao truthfully reveal his relationship with Layla. The last time they met was 3 days ago during a social practice class. At that time, Layla was seriously attending class when she was hit on and teased by Jiasong. "What are you holding back? Don't I know what you usually do?" Liu Mintao saw that Jiasong's behavior was extremely outrageous. He used the excuse of setting up a private chat group to help Layla out of trouble. Jiasong publicly invited the group for a 3,000 yuan per night to sex. Liu Mintao successfully won Layla's favor. She not only openly admitted her feelings for him, but even kissed him in public. Just as Liu Mintao claimed he had no private contact with Layla, Shuha produced evidence of Liu Mitao's appearance found at Layla's house. Liu Mintao explained that he only went to deliver medicine after receiving an order, but the person on the other end happened to be Layla, so he just finished delivering the medicine and left immediately. But after the forensic team deduced the degree of decomposition in the skull, Layla died exactly 3 days ago. This shows that Layla was killed right after meeting Liu Mintao. Nearby surveillance showed that there was an open pharmacy downstairs from her home, so she could have gone downstairs to buy medicine, with no need to buy online. If it weren't for the distance, was there any other possibility? For example, is there someone she doesn't want to see in the clinic? It was precisely this sentence that provided Shuha with a new direction for investigation. Ordinary dismemberment cases are the hardest to find because they can be used to identify the deceased. However, the head of this case was found at fixed times and locations, and it was clearly not a crime of passion. This was a thorough preparation by the killer, seemingly deliberately stirring up such a huge public controversy. So it can't be considered using the usual dismemberment investigation approach. Shuha immediately asked Nick to expand the search for other body parts to cover the entire city. The person Liu Mintao mentioned earlier at the clinic that Layla doesn't want to see might be a clue. Checking the overlapping points among the 3 clues he just mentioned, maybe he could find some. Just as Captain Shuha was reorganizing the investigation, Liu Mitao's older brother, Liu Ziqi, suddenly appeared in the interrogation room. It turned out that 10 years ago, a major fire broke out at Liu Mitao's home, which took everything from him, including his parents and brother. From that moment on, his world completely changed. Not only could he see the ghost of his brother buried in the fire, but he could also seal all his memories in his own memory space and open them at any time. And with the arrival of Liu Ziqi, the scene of meeting Layla that night was also replayed. Liu Ziqi, who had once been a police officer, carefully analyzed various details. First, Layla's outfit was very different from usual. Second, her eyes flickered, as if hiding something. These unusual details suggest she seems to have foreseen the danger, and the reason she didn't tell Liu Mintao was likely to protect him. Perhaps the killer was in her room at the time. At the same time, he instructed Liu Mintao not to interfere further and to leave it to the police. But Liu Mintao was full of doubts about Shuha's abilities. It turned out that Shuha was the one in charge of investigating the Liu family fire, and at the time, he concluded that Liu Ziqi had set himself on fire due to excessive drug use. Clearly, this conclusion is still unacceptable to Liu Mintao. He believes his brother could never use drugs. To verify Liu Mitao's words, Shuha and Nick claimed Nick's stomach discomfort and went to the clinic downstairs at Layla's house. Coincidentally, the clinic's owner, Song In, was the same person who opened the jade shop that day. So Shuha took advantage of Nurse Xiaoyu's time to pick up the medicine and chatted idly. After a brief exchange, he asked if the clinic was open on the day of the incident, and the owner blurted out that the clinic was closed that day. Just as Shuha was puzzled by this answer, Nurse Xiaoyu, who had just returned with medicine, immediately spoke up to smooth things over. That night, they went to a meeting and had dinner together afterwards. That day, Dr. Song drank too much, and she took him home. But this is clearly completely different from the results of Shuha's investigation. First, surveillance footage showed the clinic was open that night. Second, Song-in's attitude at the police station was to strongly deny that the matter was related to her. Moreover, just now, when he didn't know what to ask, he chose to lie, clearly showing that Song-in was deliberately hiding something. So the person Lila doesn't want to see is most likely Dr. Song-in. Nick immediately begins investigating Song-in's movements these past few days. As expected, Dr. Song-in indeed had serious issues. Since the police have their eyes on us, should we pause our plans for now? It's all such a coincidence. How could Layla's head be in my stone? I'm afraid someone is investigating me. To confirm his true thoughts, Song-in asked Xiaoyu to investigate Liao Siyuan's identity. Clearly, the great fire at the Liao family back then was closely related to him. Meanwhile, after learning about the incident, Layla's parents came to the school demanding compensation. They repeatedly said their daughter died so young and were deeply grieved, but in reality, they wanted to use her death as an excuse to demand compensation from the school. They just say 800,000 with every word they say. Although the school claims that Layla died outside the school and the police are still investigating the exact cause, what they care about is not the truth, but how much profit they can get from their daughter's body. The two shamelessly make a commotion. Liao Siyuan exposed these little tricks with one sentence. She was an ATM when she was alive. After she died, she became the heart of the family, right? In the end, Liao Siyuan, in order to prevent the parents from continuing to lie on Layla's corpse and suck blood, he didn't want Layla to die without escaping public criticism and speculation, so he decided to learn from his brother how to solve cases. He became a private detective and uncovered the truth. Meanwhile, on the other side, Song-in received a call from Nurse Xiaoyu. That young man is Liao Siyuan, the second son of the Liao family from the same village as him. It seems he was targeting Song-in Lei. There was also deep hatred between them. That's a deep blood feud. Based on his own police experience, Liao Ziqi speculated, the surveillance definitely did not capture footage of the killer entering Layla's house. Otherwise, the police wouldn't have tracked down Liao Siyuan by following the delivery order, so following the culprit inside the house might not work. At that moment, the Dr. Song-in, who was gambling on Jade in the video, caught Liao Ziqi's attention. Considering that Jia Song had heard about the day of the incident, a doctor had taken Layla away, and they wanted to test their own suspicions. The Liao brothers decided to go to Song-in clinic to investigate. Liao Siyuan saw the indwelling needle in the old man's hand and approached to inquire. Only then did he learn that the day before the incident, Dr. Song-in was not at the clinic in the afternoon or evening, so Nurse Xiaoyu was helping with the matter. Just as he was about to continue his investigation, Dr. Song-in suddenly returned. Not wanting to alert anyone, Liao Siyuan wanted to leave, but was stopped by Song-in. Although Liao Siyuan used the old man's earlier claim that he was here to visit the elders to avoid suspicion, but clearly, Song-in didn't want to let her go so easily. He tentatively revealed that he and Liao Siyuan were from the same hometown, and even invited him to have a rare meal together. But at this moment, Liao Siyuan only wanted to leave as soon as possible. He politely declined the call, citing the hospital's busy schedule, and hurriedly left. Then, under Liao Ziqi's guidance, he arrived at the only temple in Buha City near the river. Siyuan, the body is nearby. Here. That's right. Faced with Liao Siyuan's confusion, Liao Ziqi patiently explained. First, Song-in's shoes and tires have fragrant plaster, and the only place in Buha City where this plaster can form is here. Secondly, Song-in's car is new. However, his trunk showed scratch marks, which were likely left by the suspect after dumping the body at night. Later, in the rush, they forgot to clean it. Just as Liao Siyuan was still thinking about how to recover the body, a pistol had quietly been extended, and this was Song-in, who had been following him all the way. At the critical moment, the sound of the police car's siren finally saved him from disaster. It turned out that forensic expert Qi Xia had discovered the incense plaster through examination of the skull. That's why Shuha was able to follow this clue. In the end, after an autopsy, Qi Xia concluded that Layla did not drown or be beheaded, but died from drug overdose. At the same time, an unknown toxin was found in her bodily fluids that remain undetermined, along with a surprising piece of news. Layla was already pregnant before her death. Liao Siyuan, upon learning about this, shared the news with Marlo during a casual chat. He also shared his inner suspicions. This Dr. Song-in is very likely the murderer. Because that day, Jia Song claimed to have seen Layla being taken away by a doctor. Although there's no evidence yet, he will definitely find out. Seeing Marlowe leave, he finally produces evidence he stole from the police station. After checking, it turned out to be a lighter from a love hotel. Layla, who never smokes, actually hides a lighter in the inner pocket of her clothes. Plus, forensic expert Chi Xia said the riverside wasn't the first crime scene. Doctor, drug use, pregnancy, love hotel. Liao Zibai speculated that this might be Layla doing her utmost to send an important message to the outside world. Maybe this is the real place where Layla will die. Following the lighter's lead, Liao Xiyuan found the love hotel. After a round of threats and persuasion, he learned that Layla had come by 4 nights earlier. To better gather evidence, he booked the room where Layla had stayed. Just as he was about to head to the room to investigate, a man in black was already waiting for him with gasoline in hand. Unaware, Liao Xiyuan entered the room and began investigating. Although the entire room was clean, the bloodstains couldn't be wiped away. Under Liao Zibai's direction, Liao Xiyuan sprayed the entire room with luminol reagent. As the little pink lights in the room were turned on, what greeted his eyes was a sea of glowing bloodstains. Liao Zibai reconstructed the night Layla was killed based on the numerous traces in the room. Just as Liao Xiyuan was about to notify the police to investigate, the door was suddenly locked outside. As gasoline continuously flowed into the room, a raging fire instantly swept toward him. Liao Xiyuan had intended to escape through the window, but it was clear that this room had been designed long ago. Just as Liao Xiyuan was about to collapse from holding on, Liao Zibai forcibly took over his brother's body. He smashed the window glass with the sofa and escaped by breaking through the window at the last second of the explosion. When Chi Xia arrived to check, the doctor also presented Liao Xiyuan's examination report. Although he was healthy, his brain nerve circuits were damaged. This may lead him to experience hallucinations, seeing people or things that don't actually exist. Moreover, he seems to have no memory of his suicide, which could lead to the risk of developing a split personality. Meanwhile, the police also found Dr. Song In again. Seeing that Song In still flatly denied any relationship with Layla, Shuha finally revealed all the evidence he had found. Hotel surveillance footage showed that he and Layla had entered the hotel together. An hour later, he dragged the suitcase into the hotel, and that room received 2 complaints from the neighboring room that night. At 3 a.m., he dragged his suitcase out again, but Layla never showed up again. 2 days later, Layla's head was found at the Jade gambling market. Yesterday, Layla's body was found in her box. Facing Shua's questioning, Song In remained surprisingly calm. He was certain the police definitely didn't find his fingerprints or DNA on the box. If there were, they would have summoned him long ago. Moreover, he is not a citizen of his own country, so without evidence, he cannot be arrested. In the end, Song In gave a seemingly reasonable explanation. That day he did meet Layla at a love hotel, bringing a suitcase to hold toys like whips, ropes, and handcuffs. But the other party immediately asked for money, and she drugged the alcohol. When he woke up, Layla was already gone. Although Shuha knew it was all just the other party's baseless claims, lacking evidence, he could only leave in anger after making harsh words. Meanwhile, Liao Xiyuan, who was discharged from the hospital, made a major discovery at Song In's clinic. If Song In's relationship with Layla isn't what we imagine, then Song In is using his identity as a doctor for convenience. He lured young female students into prostitution. After recovering, Liao Xiyuan sneaked in to investigate Layla's murder while the hospital was closing. After a thorough search, he finally found a major clue. All the medical records were actually young and beautiful female patients. Moreover, these medical records clearly label their prices. Liao Zibai suspects that Song In is using his identity as a doctor to lure young female students into prostitution, including not only Layla, but also another female student who recently jumped to her death. Just as Liao Xiyuan hadn't had time to think further, Song In returned. Watching Song In's attempt to silence and destroy evidence, Liao Xiyuan, to protect himself, turned on a live broadcast. In the end, with 350 people in the live stream witnessed, he managed to save his life. Realizing the danger, Song In immediately burned all the evidence and then told the mastermind about Liao Xiyuan's investigation. After raising fish for so long, it looks like it's going to come in handy. What can a college student possibly know? Lure out the person who should have died. Although Song In knew the other side was using him as a target, he was just a pawn in the opponent's game. If he didn't obey, he'd surely die, but if he did, there was still a chance of survival. Meanwhile, Liao Xiyuan came to Kaina's home to uncover the truth. Only then did he learn that Kaina and Layla were high school classmates. While still in high school, Layla was forced by her parents to marry. To resist, she threatened to die and eventually escaped the clutches. With nowhere else to go, she ended up living with Kaina. The two became close friends, and they gave Liao Xiyuan information about China's egg retrieval and fallopian tube removal procedures. This is also why he never believed his daughter had jumped off a building. At this moment, Liao Zibai realized Song En's true nature. Song En's public office is a clinic, but behind the scenes, he runs a black business involving manipulating girls to sell eggs for surrogacy, which may be related to the deaths of Layla and Kaina. Upon receiving the news, Qixia immediately began testing. Eventually, she confirmed that Layla and the unborn child were not parent-child. Shuha immediately ordered an investigation into all missing women's files, as well as every financial record of Song En, while he himself applied for an arrest warrant for Song En. Just as everyone was conducting a thorough search of the clinic, a closed room caught Shuha's attention. The moment he opened the door, he was ambushed by a group of assassins. As the main gate was blocked by various debris, Shuha was alone and surrounded by the assassins. While hiding, he finally witnessed an unbelievable scene. The missing girls had all become surrogacy tools hidden there, including the female college student he had seen at the clinic for the first time. In a fit of rage, Shuha transformed into the war god of the room, fighting 10 opponents at once. He vented his inner anger. As Nick and his men burst through the gate, the girls' egg-selling surrogacy den was finally taken down. Where is Song En? He went to kill Liao Xiyuan. In the familiar Meat Alliance arena, this time it was none other than Dr. Song En, who was preparing to kill and dismember the body. But due to a mistake, his henchman accidentally caught the wrong person. The originally planned Liao Xiyuan was not caught, but instead caught Marlowe, who borrowed Liao Xiyuan's electric scooter to offer incense to Layla. If you don't want to see him die, see you on the rooftop of Jialan building within 10 minutes. I'm warning you, don't try any tricks. If you dare call the police, I'll cut your classmate into pieces like pork and send them to you. I'm already dead. Where are you? Come out. Right inside your belly. To save Marlowe, who was captured by Song En, Liao Xiyuan had no choice but to agree to the other party's request and rush to the Canaan building to meet him. The police had made full preparations, ready to kill him in one blow, but the cunning Song En did not show up. Instead, he made a video call. As long as Liao Xiyuan jumps from the building, he'll let Marlowe go. To buy time, Liao Xiyuan asked Song En why he killed Layla, but Song En claimed that Liao Xiyuan had secretly tried many things to frame him and told him to jump off immediately, or else kill Marlowe. At this time, the police also pinpointed Song En's final location. As the countdown arrived, Liao Xiyuan leapt down. The police successfully break in and rescue Marlowe, but find no trace of Song En. Song En, who had already escaped, immediately contacted the mastermind, claiming that Liao Xiyuan was dead, but the person they had been hoping for had not appeared. After reporting everything, just as he was about to leave Bua City, but he was overturned by a truck. Who I am doesn't matter. What matters is that I planted some little things in your belly. In the end, Song En, unable to bear the voice from Lila's stomach, not only performed surgery to extract the meat herself, but also chose to turn herself in. All the stories finally came to light. Their clinic lured young female college students into prostitution, then selected young, beautiful, highly educated women to sell their balls. The 3 price tags under the resume are the price list for overnight stays, egg selling, and surrogacy. Layla was just a poor student seeking medical treatment and was not tempted by their free study abroad program. Sina, however, was introduced by Layla without her knowledge, and the child in Layla's belly was actually Sina's. As for whether Song En killed Layla, Nurse Xiaoyu gave a negative answer. Liao Xiyuan's suicide was also a setup jointly orchestrated by him and the police, using technical means to replace nearby surveillance footage and deceive the situation at the last moment. But the biggest problem now is, why does Song En still refuse to admit that he killed Layla? Could it be that someone is deliberately setting up a scheme behind this, using the police to get rid of Song En? To verify their true feelings, they could only ask Qixia to conduct a re-autopsy. Moreover, when the police reopened, they discovered syringes containing DNA from Song En and Layla. This kind of cover-the-ears method precisely proves that someone is deliberately framing Song En. To confirm their true feelings, the group returns to Layla's home, where they finally discover blood splattering under the bed. Realizing this, Liao Zibai offered another theory. Layla was very likely to commit suicide. With the blood test report coming out and the puzzle piece completed, the whole story gradually came to light. Tina sought out Song En to help Mike pay off the money, but the surgery went wrong. She lost the ability to bear children and was threatened by him, threatening to make the video public if she dared to call the police. And that scumbag ex-boyfriend was actually in league with Song En. After learning the truth, during the struggle, Kina accidentally fell to her death. She learns that all of Lila were originally planning to fight Song En, but ended up being caught by him. In the end, for revenge, Lila planned everything to destroy Song An. As for that scumbag Mike, with no direct evidence of his involvement in the crime, when faced with Liao Xiyuan's harsh rebuke, he showed no remorse at all. That's exactly what I have in the charm. If one kinda dies, countless others are waiting for me. Those people don't matter. As long as you're alive, happiness is what matters most. Seeing that the law could not give him the punishment he deserved, Liao Xiyuan could only beat him again and again, venting his anger. But sometimes, where the law can't punish them, city light is needed, because the person who helped Layla finally steps in again. The scumbag Mike, who was indulging in luxury in the bar, was ultimately buried with the man in black by a single pill. The jade and stone head table finally resurfaced. It turns out all of this was carefully planned by Layla. Just as she was about to die, she is approached by a mysterious man in black. Seeing that the other party promised to help her completely destroy Song An's surrogacy organization, Layla entered the fate herself, dragging Song An down with her own death. Although in the public eye, the case has indeed been solved. To calm public opinion, Deputy Director Renault announced the case would be closed. But Shuha insisted on thoroughly investigating and uncovering the mastermind. After all, deceiving innocent girls to sell eggs for surrogacy is such a complete industry chain that a small character like Song An can't handle alone. But the current problem is that Song An has gone mad, and what he says cannot be used as a testimony. As for that client list, current law does not stipulate that buying and selling shares the same offense. So Deputy Director Reno meant to touch on the matter and close the case for now, because even if he made the list public, it wouldn't help. Seeing that Shuha was still insisting, he steered the conversation toward Liao Xiyuan. He wanted to take this opportunity to invite Liao Xiyuan to the police station to help solve the case. First, through this case, he discovered that Liao Xiyuan was a promising talent. On the other hand, he suspected there was more to Song An's case, likely related to Liao Xiyuan. First, both Song An and Liao Xiyuan came from Yong'an village. Second, why did Song An, who had already escaped, insist on coming back to kill Liao Xiyuan? And what exactly was going on with the phone in Song An's belly? So he let Liao Xiyuan into the police station, partly to monitor him, because if he really got involved, he would definitely be exposed. This was also to protect Liao Xiyuan. If he was not involved in the case, it would mean there must be another mastermind behind it. From then on, Liao Xiyuan entered the police station with a brand new identity to assist with the investigation. While flipping through the related files of the Song An case, a familiar name caught Liao Xiyuan's attention. Luna, also Song An's niece from Yong'an village, was actually one of the victims. She is very likely the first. Criminal psychology once said that perverts usually start with those close to them. She is Song An's niece. By this time, Luna had already started a new life and opened a bridal shop. But in order to uncover the secret of the Liao family fire 10 years ago, Liao Xiyuan still decided to go to the bridal shop to look for Luna, but was told by Clerk Jean that Luna probably wouldn't be coming to the store today. Just as he returned to the pharmacy to prepare health supplements for his adoptive mother Meihua, Luna actually showed up in person. After a brief remark, Luna revealed the purpose of her visit. Let's meet at the bar at 9 tonight. I'm going to tell Liao Xiyuan all the secrets of the Liao family's big fire 10 years ago. But even after waiting until 10:30, Luna still hadn't shown up. The next morning, at the wedding shop, while cleaning, shop assistant Ajin noticed something unusual about the wedding dresses in the display case. Just as he was curiously lifting his veil, what caught his eye was Luna's pale corpse. After receiving the news, the police began investigating all of Luna's social connections. While they were questioning Luna's husband Japong, they received materials from the forensics division. It's him again. As a result, Liao Xiyuan, who had just joined the police station to assist with the investigation, was handcuffed again. Watching Shuha take out the surveillance footage from the bridal shop's entrance that captured it. Only then did Liao Xiyuan truthfully recount what happened last night. That day, he and Luna had originally agreed to meet at a bar at 9 o'clock, but were turned down. Passing by a bridal shop, he saw Luna coming out of the shop, so he chased after her, but she deliberately quickened his pace and left. This surveillance only turns on after work gets off at 10 p.m., and Luna's time of death was roughly between 10 p.m. and midnight. Seeing that Liao Xiyuan was forced into the jade head case and the bridal bride, Reynolds once again began to doubt Liao's identity. The forensic expert immediately performed an autopsy on the deceased and preliminarily estimated the time of death to be around 11 p.m. Strangely, however, no external trauma was found on the body's surface, while trace amounts of toxins were detected inside the body. The victim's entire body had not only open wounds, not even a pinhole. I really can't figure out how the killer poisoned them. It is worth noting that the victim had previously suffered from stage 3 malignant melanoma and frequently took anti-cancer medications. Therefore, Tree Team boldly speculates that the killer most likely secretly swapped the drug to poison Luna, so it is highly likely that someone familiar with the crime committed the crime. They immediately retrieved the victim's background information and discovered that the only person Luna was closest to was her fiancé. You and Luna are remarried, right? Yes, my ex-wife died in a car accident. Luna helped me get through it, so we got married quickly. But the fiancé had a full alibi. Then they reviewed surveillance footage from nearby streets. Around 10 o'clock, Luna hurried out of the bridal shop, followed by a young boy. This person turned out to be Liu Mintao, a university student also connected to the previous case. This was quite a coincidence. So Captain Shu immediately sent people to bring him back to the interrogation room. What is the victim's name? Luna. They immediately produced surveillance footage from nearby streets. Seeing this, Liu Mintao confessed everything. 10 years ago, his home had suffered a major fire, and all his relatives lost their lives in that fire. Back then, the arson case was personally led by Captain Shu, but in the end, the case was hastily closed because Liu Mitao's brother set fire after drug use. Yet Liu Mintao still doesn't believe it. However, just yesterday, while he was on duty at the pharmacy, Luna suddenly appeared. She said she wanted to tell him the truth behind the fire back then. So Liu Mintao, half believing, went to the bar they had agreed on, but unexpectedly, Luna still hadn't shown up until 9 o'clock that night. So he rode his electric bike to the bridal shop to check it out. Then they saw Luna hurriedly rush out of the shop. After learning the whole story, Captain Shu pondered. If Liu Mintao were the real murderer, how could he have returned to the crime scene after committing the crime? Clearly, there must be more to the story. While playing on her phone in the elevator, the woman suddenly noticed a blurry figure on the black screen. She instinctively looked up at the elevator, only to unexpectedly discover a female corpse wearing a veil, her face bleeding from all 7 orifices, and smiled. At the same time, many cash coins were scattered around, clearly indicating that the killer was not killing for money. After receiving the report, the police quickly arrived at the scene and found that the victim, Manny, had died in a hotel in Jinhu Tower. The forensic expert conducted a preliminary examination of the body. The time of death was estimated to be around midnight last night, and judging from the wounds on the body's surface, the deceased likely died from a fall from a great height. But strangely, they also detected the poison in Manny's mouth. This was exactly the same as Luna, the bridal shop owner who was murdered yesterday. Both were poisoned and silenced, and their bodies were dressed in elements related to wedding dresses. If it's a serial murder case, the nature is completely different. But Manny only wore a veil, while after Luna's death, she was dressed in a limited edition antique wedding dress. Therefore, Tree Team boldly speculates that the killer was very likely deliberately trying to distinguish the two. They investigated the social information of the deceased. It turns out that Manny and Luna have known each other for several years. They used to work as hostesses at a bar in Buha, and there are 4 sisters who are close friends. It's worth noting that once, while driving home after work, an accident occurred. Although the 4 sisters were safe at the time, the other party's vehicle unexpectedly exploded. I remember there was a wedding dress on the back seat of the deceased's car, and Manny and Luna were both in Lan Xiaodang's car. Afterwards, Lan Xiaodang was sentenced to prison, and the other sisters also quit their bar jobs because of it. Coincidentally, the driver of the car hit was the husband of Luna, the current bridal shop owner. Unexpectedly, after surviving, this man ended up with the accomplice who killed his wife, which was simply baffling everyone. After marrying him, Luna opened a bridal shop, and Manny became a child actress. She recently landed a role where she needed to wear a wedding dress, so she borrowed a wedding dress from a friend's bridal shop and secured funding to join the crew, which secured her precious role. There's a little celebrity named Manny, do you know? It just became popular recently. He recently came to the shop saying he needed to film and borrow a wedding dress, but he still hasn't returned it. After learning the whole story, Liu Mintao returned to the crime scene to search for clues, and unexpectedly, he found a 36-yard footprint in front of the elevator. Wait, that's not right. No matter how you look at her figure, she should be a woman, right? Liu Mintao speculated that the killer might have committed the crime in a certain room and then threw the body onto the top of the elevator. So the killer must be someone very familiar with the hotel environment. They reviewed surveillance footage from the lobby before and after the incident and indeed found a small, hurried cleaner. Right after the 2 female corpses in wedding dresses appeared, a third body was immediately thrown into a water jar. Her death was exactly the same as the previous 2, both dressed in wedding dresses with smiles, and they had once been best friends. Clearly, this was a premeditated vendetta killing. The police immediately conducted an autopsy on the third victim. It was discovered that they had all been injected with a drug called H7 during their lifetimes, which is the real reason for their mysterious smiles after death. Coincidentally, during the arson case at Liu Mitao's home 10 years ago, The police detected this drug in his brother Liao Zibai. That's why the case was hastily closed, because Liao Zibai set fire after drug use. Now that this drug has reappeared, it is clear that the culprit is connected to the arson case from years ago. Liao Xiyuan reorganized the entire sequence of the case in his mind. The first victim, Luna, died in her own shop and was the person who knew about the fire years ago. The female clerk who found the body had a close relationship with her husband, but it wasn't enough to justify her taking such a huge risk to kill. Clearly, these two were outsiders. The other two victims were former close friends of Luna. The four of them originally worked at the same bar, but now, only one remains. That person must have a serious problem. However, just as Liao Xiyuan was about to find this person, he suddenly received a call from Luna's husband. Last time you asked Luna if she had anything left for you. While I was inventorying the bridal shop, I found a photo that should be the item you were looking for. All right, I'll be right there. But when Liao Xiyuan rushed to the bridal shop, the crucial photo had already been taken by the mysterious person. Do you remember what's in the photo? It seems like there was a fire or something. Luna was inside, and that doctor reported in the news was the one who killed many girls. Well, yes, it's him. There are two other people I don't recognize. Two more people. Liao Xiyuan saw that among the items left behind by Luna, there was actually a brochure for the bar he used to stay at. Aside from the first page being torn up, the other three victims were among them. So he immediately went to the bar to ask about the situation. According to Madame, she had heard Luna talk about the fire from 10 years ago, but because it was so long, she couldn't remember clearly. And just the day before Luna was killed, she had shown herself the photo of the fire. But the ones who truly understood this were probably the other three sisters closest to her. However, only Su Man survived today. Su Man, she was the best-off heiress among them. Her father was a Southeast Asian, who came to Buha for business in his early years, but after giving birth to Su Man, he abandoned her. It was really strange. One day, her father sent someone to pick her up. He said she would return home to inherit the family fortune, and from then on, she would rise to great success. Liao Xiyuan followed the clues and found this person. He guessed that the next victim was very likely Su Man, or perhaps he had killed the other three sisters. Someone quietly dripped a mysterious liquid onto the cup. Then he and the young man picked up the glass together and drank it all in one gulp without a word. Riding the wave of alcohol, Su Man spoke her mind. I'm a little scared. Can you keep me company? Seeing the situation turn bad, Liao Xiyuan got up to leave. Unexpectedly, Su Man knocked him down with a single finger and quietly came to his side. It turned out that Liao Xiyuan, in order to investigate the wedding dress case, had found the last survivor, Su Man, based on clues. He disguised himself as a repairman and came to Su Man's house. He had just entered the bedroom and found a crabapple-style necklace. Suspecting that a wealthy heiress carrying cheap jewelry must be suspicious, he casually took a photo. When Su Man went downstairs, she invited him to stay for a drink, but unexpectedly, she was knocked down as soon as she got up. The next day, Liao Xiyuan woke up and lifted the covers, asking, where is she? How would I know? We're pants. Then Liao Xiyuan asked his friend Nick for help. He took out a photo of the necklace Su Man wore around her neck and asked Nick to look up the person with the name Sugar in the name around her. Liao Xiyuan also noticed that the first three victims shared a common trait. They all lacked money and suspected they had borrowed money from Su Man during their lifetimes. That evening, Su Man invited Liao Xiyuan to eat at a street food stall, saying she was about to leave Buha and wanted another big meal. Liao Xiyuan laid his cards on the table, directly asking about his relationship with Luna and others, but also mentioned the necklace and Su Man. He said the necklace was a gift from her best friend Lan Xiaodang, and also said Lan Xiaodang was killed by Luna and the others. Meanwhile, while investigating the deceased Ailin's home, Qi Xia smells a special fragrance. It does smell good. When her brother came home, he found that he had the same scent on him. This is clearly the taste of the Allen family. What does it smell like? When I visited Allen's house before, I smelled a unique fragrance, but at the time, I couldn't find the source of the scent. Now the evidence was conclusive. Qi Xia found Shu He. Su Man has been to their home. I have evidence. I asked my colleagues to check his itinerary. He bought the earliest plane ticket and might have to leave. They quickly sprang into action, but Liao Xiyuan went to Su Man's house ahead of time. At that moment, Su Man was throwing money around, and Liao Xiyuan was the first to arrive. Su Man suddenly fired a gun, and Shu He immediately pounced on Liao Xiyuan. After being caught, Su Man admitted to the murder but refused to disclose the source of the H7 drugs found in the villa, only asking to contact a lawyer. He dialed himself and put it on speakerphone. Lawyer Wu, this is Su Man. Miss Su, please rest assured, I've already made all the arrangements. Liao Xiyuan felt Su Man's testimony was problematic. He went to Annie's house to apologize in search of clues, but wanted coffee, but Annie told him it wasn't available. Ah, what a pity, I finished drinking. How about that? Can I still bring you the juice from last time? All right. Liao Zibai asked Siyuan to check the bedroom and found male hormones. Androgens. Now Liao Siyuan had an answer in his heart. Liao Siyuan then told Shuha about his idea, suspecting that the real culprit was Annie's son, Peggy. The captured Su Man might be Lan Xiaodong. Upon hearing this, Shuha immediately ordered Nick to lead the investigation. Soon, Nick brings people to Annie's house and finds a bank card under the pillow. Withdraw the team. Peggy also goes to the police station and admits she is Su Man. I'm Su Man. The suspect, Peggy, was formerly known by the name Su Man. The interrogation begins, during which she admits that Luna, Aaron, and Manny were all killed by her own hands. It turned out that Su Man was abandoned by her father during childhood due to chromosomal abnormalities and struggled to survive with her mother on the streets of Bua until Lan Xiaodong appeared and gave her warmth, and the two depended on each other. Su Man vowed to protect Lan Xiaodong. Years later, Su Man and Lan Xiaodong live a good life, but fate has other plans. One night, Su Man, Lan Xiaodong, Luna, and others came out of a bar drunk, but a drunk driving incident changed his fate. Lan Xiaodong, ignoring the danger, gave it her all to save the fainted Su Man. As they fled, the car suddenly exploded. The three sisters nearby not only remained indifferent, but also shirked responsibility, even shifting the blame onto Lan Xiaodong. It was Lan Xiaodong driving. This has nothing to do with us. Even if she wasn't actually driving. To protect Lan Xiaodong, Su Man sent her to Nanyang with a letter of introduction to inherit the Su family business on her behalf. Lan Xiaodong originally planned to leave quietly, but Manny and the others took photos of the accident from years ago, planning to extort money later. Su Man told Lan Xiaodong that she knew a police officer named Ross who had already bribed him to delete the surveillance footage. He produced his own explicit videos and foreign language lessons, begging Ross to delete more evidence. I had no choice. I helped them destroy a lot of criminal evidence. The driver wasn't Lan Xiaodong at the time. If I asked her to help her go to jail under Lan Xiaodong's identity, I would. I agreed to it. I thought this matter was about to end. Unexpectedly, Su Man was extorted by the three sisters, who demanded huge sums of money each time, threatening to make the car accident photos public if she refused. Su Man decided to eliminate the threat for Lan Xiaodong's safety. And so, Luna, Manny, and Aaron were dealt with by him. To firmly confirm Lan Xiaodong's identity, Su Man underwent plastic surgery, changed her gender, and voluntarily turned herself in to go to jail. Soon, Lan Xiaodong established herself in Nanyang and was now a wealthy heiress, but she could never let go of Su Man. When he returned to Buha to inquire about the news, he learned that Su Man had gone to prison for it. After the truth was revealed, the police asked him where the H7 drug he used in his crimes came from. He said he bought it online and didn't know who the person was. After the interrogation, Lan Xiaodong and Su Man finally met, and all their words turned into a tight embrace. Their tears reflect years of grievance and longing. When Su Man was being sent to prison, Liao Siyuan told her that Luna was suffering from cancer and took out all the cash before dying, hoping Manny and Alan would stop bothering Lan Xiaodong. He traded all his money for you and Lan Xiaodong for a future. Can you not disturb their lives? If you want money, I can give it to you. Are you sick? Send me. As long as you give me money, I'll do anything. Su Man's eyes were full of regret when she heard this. Afterwards, Liao Siyuan came to visit Su Man. He learned that the H7 was bought in an unfinished building without telling him who the other party was. The call ended quickly. When Su Man was about to return to the cell, an accident occurred. This isn't the direction back to the cell, is it? Your medical parole has been granted. You can leave at night. Let's go. I didn't get medical parole, officer. Let's go. I haven't met you two officers before. Sun Ji's subordinates forcibly took him out of prison under the pretense of medical parole. I didn't get medical parole, officer. All right, I haven't met you two officers. In that dim room, Su Man was injected with drugs, suffering both physically and mentally. Sun Gu and the others threatened Lan Xiaodong's safety, forcing him to reveal information about the mysterious person. Su Man, in despair and pain, helplessly describing the mysterious man's appearance. His brow bone is a bit taller than most. He was rather thin. When Brother Sun heard the description, his expression changed dramatically. He recognized the mysterious person as Bai Han. Meanwhile, Liao Siyuan was immersed in reviewing the case. Ignoring Liao Zhibai's advice, he was determined to uncover the truth behind the case. The mysterious person in his heart had been secretly helping him, and Liao Siyuan firmly believed that through this mysterious person, He could uncover the truth behind the fire 10 years ago. With keen insight and firm belief, Liao Xiyuan uncovered the mysterious person's trail through surveillance. In the gallery, he engaged in a thrilling confrontation with a mysterious figure. Just as the two sides were locked in a stalemate, Shuha suddenly arrived at the scene, and the situation spiraled out of control, leading to a fierce confrontation between both sides. In the end, the mysterious person escapes amid the chaos, and Liao Xiyuan finally learns that this mysterious person is Bai Han. He also unexpectedly discovered that Bai Han's drug used 10 years ago was intricately connected to Liao Zhibai. Liao Zhibai became addicted to drugs. Not only that, he also put drugs in the diets of several other classmates, and Bai Han was one of them. The man only touched the girl's neck, and this scene was noticed by her mother, who was combing her hair. She drew the man's car on a red talisman. Unexpectedly, the next second, the man's car drove into a ditch. It turned out Liao Xiyuan had discovered that the man in black was Bai Han. He learned from Shuha that not only did his brother Liao Zhibai fall into the drug quagmire himself, but he also drugged a group of classmates. As a result, all these students were expelled from school for drug use, and Bai Han was one of them. This news left Liao Xiyuan in disbelief. He then asked Qi Xia to confirm the matter, and Qi Xia admitted he had known all along, but had never wanted to tell Xiyuan. He showed Qi Xia the photo he got from Bai Han, who immediately recognized the person in the photo as Taishu. So he planned to go with Qi Xia to Yong'an village to investigate. Unexpectedly, just as he stepped out, he ran into his mother and Liqi returned. Liao Xiyuan had no choice but to use the excuse of going camping to cover it up. The mother said she wanted Liqi to go play with them. Luckily, my car is out of gas. I'll hitch a ride with you later. Sure, no problem. Qi Xia drove Liao Xiyuan and Liqi to Yong'an village. Just as I reached the village entrance, Jane deliberately drove his car into them, causing the car to crash into the statue. Jane and the others refused to let them enter the village, citing the collision with the statue. Why are you two back? Think our village isn't bad enough for you? Looks like the river god your father invited isn't very welcoming to you. All right, sis, stop wasting words with him. Call the police and hurry up and fix the car. During the argument, Liqi ran alone to the gas station. She enters the house for help, only to encounter the nemesis of the woman in red. Guqiu, cloaked in Lu clothes and towel pants, Yuechun Guoming gold belt. He called out with a strange look, "Grandma, Grandma." Biji slowly turned her head and spotted a blind old lady. Fortunately, Supa appeared just in time. I want to buy something, Grandma. Wait a moment. They and others almost clashed, but at the critical moment, Nawa arrived to clear up the misunderstanding. It really is you. After 10 years, you're finally back. Uncle Nawa. You're back. They won't let us in. He personally guaranteed that Liao Xiyuan would not cause trouble after entering the village. Liao Xiyuan then asked Uncle Tai and Neva and learned that he had left many years ago to avoid debts. Neva accused Jane of once occupying the Liao family's factory and now deliberately targeting Liao Xiyuan. Liao Zhibai reminded Liao Xiyuan that Jian's car accident was suspicious and that someone might be secretly monitoring him. I feel like a pair of eyes are watching me from the shadows. Just be careful. Lichis are very curious about their nemesis. Neva tells his nemesis that he has gone mad, and many terrifying rumors about him circulate in the village. Liao Xiyuan asked Naiwa about the Great Fire 10 years ago and learned that on the day of Loi Krathong, Liao Zhibai behaved abnormally and once smashed a statue. He also learned that Taishu had left by long-distance bus and that there had been a conflict at the station. Supa, Liao Xiyuan, and the others gathered by the river. He sensed something was off about the water but didn't say anything. At night, Liao Xiyuan arrived at the ruins of the Liao family home, where wooden stakes on the roof suddenly fell. Watch out.